Good evening once again, everyone. Lucas Berry alongside Chris Rader here on the Nova Network. Chris, has been the first time in a while we've been doing a game like this, especially here in Oak Hill, as Oak Hill comes back home after a month on the road plus a bye. And 2 weeks ago, they took one on the chin at Greenbrier East. Had what I think is a well-timed bye. At least I thought it was until I found out that just as soon as you get 2 players back, you got like 3 more that are out for Oak Hill.
Well, yeah, part of the story of tonight is not only who's playing, but who's not playing. And been a two-way starter for Oak Hill all year. He's out for the year now with a shoulder injury. Carson Treadway, who got ejected in the Greenbrier East game, has to be. He's serving a suspension tonight, so he won't be able to play for Oak Hill tonight. Ian Bellinger is going to be out for a while with a concussion. He's been getting in the rotation offensively and defensively. And then Tyler Colosino, who's a kid that got pushed into action because of injuries. He's out missing his second straight game with the shoulder. Now, the good news is Solomon Truman looks like he's going to be back. He's missed the last couple of games. He's going to be back available for Oak Hill. Luke Endicott's back. Z. Lewis is back. But still, it's a war of attrition a little bit. And I think this is a game that both of these teams really need. They want to wash the taste of a bad loss out of their mouths.
It is, and you're looking at Capital. They've lost to Princeton and Huntington now. I can't speak for you, but I think if you're talking about 2 losses on your record, those are 2 of the best losses in the state.
Well, I mean,
it's a good team.
Yeah, I think if you were looking on paper at Capital's first 5 games, you probably would have penciled those in as losses. So, yeah, there's no shame in losing to Princeton and Huntington. And then, if you look, that's a common opponent. Oak Hill lost to Princeton as well. And, I got to tell you, Capital played Princeton a lot better than Oak Hill played Princeton. And I was talking to Brad Compton midweek, and he was really raving about Capital's athleticism. He said, these guys are fast. And it jumps out on film. So, yeah, they're missing David Robinson, but they have some young weapons that they'll plug in here tonight. And I think this is going to be a real test for Oak Hill.
I'll just kind of prelude this when I kind of when I kind of flip the calendar. When I kind of flip the calendar to Capital Week, I remember you talking to me earlier on in the year. And it's like, if you're going to get Capital, this is the year. They're a young team. They're building, but that's still, like you said, a young team, but a talented team nonetheless.
Well, I'll give you a little background on Capital. So their head coach is John Carpenter. This is his second stint at Capital. He was the head coach at Capital from 2010 to 2019 and had a very successful 10-year run there. Won a state title in 2014, was a state runner-up in 2015. He had a 91-33 record. He stepped down prior to the 2020 season, and since then, from 2020 to 2023, they went 8-25. Capital really fell on hard times, and I don't want to put all that on a coaching change. Lucas, with the new transfer rules and stuff, that's really affecting a lot of teams down in the Valley. I think Capital's been one of the schools that have really gotten poached, more so than other schools. They've had some talent poached. But regardless, they fell on some hard times, and they're not used to that at Capital. That's a winning program. So they talked John Carpenter into taking the program back. His first year back was last year. They went 3-7, but they're already 3-2 this year. They've already won as many games this year as they won all of last year. So, yeah, my buddy Tater Knox, who's actually running the chains tonight, he volunteered. He told me last year, he said, if you're going to get Capital, you better get them now because in a couple of years they're going to be tough, and these babies are going to grow up. And they're still young, but they are talented and fast and athletic, and I think it's going to be a good game here tonight.
I think so, too, as we're about 3 minutes and change away from the start of the game. Well, actually, from the end of the clock, and then we'll have whatever time we have. Captains are out for Oak Hill, and it looks like we'll have our coin toss here momentarily.
So just something to watch here tonight. I did tell you, Cap, I think it's going to be a contrast of styles. I get the impression where Capital is fast and athletic, but not terribly big. Oak Hill's going to try their best to run north-south at them. And if we go back to the East game, for everything that went wrong in the East game, and there was a lot that went wrong, injuries and turnovers and blown coverages, the one thing that Oak Hill had going that night was Cade Compton. When they handed the ball to Cade Compton, something positive happened. He had 25 carries for $142 and a touchdown. I think we're probably going to see a heavy dose of Cade here again tonight. Luke Endicott's back. Brad told me they might run some QB power with him, but try to go north-south. When Capital's got the ball, I think they're probably going to try to test the edges of Oak Hill's defense. So it is going to be a contrast in styles a little bit here tonight between these two teams.
We'll see how Oak Hill handles it here. Like I said, first time in about a month Oak Hill's played on their home field. In a while.
Yeah, it seems like it's been forever since we've been here.
It does, yeah. Well, maybe for you.
Well,
yeah, maybe for you.
You're Mr. New River Network, so yeah, that's true. You've been here quite a bit. First time for me. I'll amend what I said. That's a good point.
Oh, boy. It's the first of two straight at home. Next week's homecoming Hurricane comes in here. We're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it does bring the opportunity to come out and enjoy this football team.
Yeah, and the weather to me couldn't be.
You're right.
Perfect.
This is perfect.
This is perfect. I like it when we start getting into some fall weather where you need a jacket. And the whole day today's been perfect to me. So, yeah, if you want to come watch a football game, to me, this is perfect weather to do it. Just throw on a hoodie. And
those August games are rough.
Yeah, throw on a hoodie, bring a blanket, and come enjoy some football.
And if for some reason you can't, or if you like to do what they do at NASCAR race and listen to the broadcast as the event's going on, throw us on, why don't you?
Yeah, if you want to do that, that's exactly right. Well, I don't know why anybody would want to ruin a nice fall evening at the stadium listening to us, but, if that's what you're so inclined to do.
He means me.
We love to have you.
Yes. All right. In all this yapping, I missed who won the coin toss, so we'll see who comes out with the ball first. We will be having, as we've had so far, I just want to make a point, we will be having a referee field mic, so we'll be able to hear the ins and outs and the calls and all that in real time. Not have to have us try to interpret a signal.
Usually, I like having the ref field mics, but my experience has been when the ref has the field mic, if you could be on the moon and hear what he's saying. That's very loud in our ear when they give those announcements.
A red smoke screen, that's new.
And while I was talking about injuries, there's also a couple, there's another kid I didn't mention, Jaden Lewis, who's another kid who's been getting rotation in on the offensive and defensive line. He's out again. He's out tonight, too, for Oak Hill. So, again, not to belabor the point, but, there's injuries are kind of a luck thing. In the last couple of years, Oak Hill's been pretty lucky with injuries. And this year, the luck has kind of ran out, and that injury bug has really bitten them. So that's another kid that I forgot to mention a few minutes ago that's out for Oak Hill as well. So, they're digging into their bench a little bit at some of these positions to get kids on the field.
Just about set to get going here. Looks like Capital will be the one that's kicking off. They'll be kicking off from left to right, as Oak Hill will be receiving and going from right to left.
Now, Lucas, with Capital on defense, I'll tell you a kid to keep an eye on. That's going to be number 6, Ja'Cory Clark. He leads them in sacks with 5. And I've been told, if you remember the Princeton defensive ends last year, Kalen Kaiser and Daniel Jennings, how they would come off like rockets off the line of scrimmage. I'm told that Ja'Cory Clark is very much like that too. And they like to crash hard on the inside sometimes. So you might see some QB keep or Luke puts it in the belly of Cade and then pulls it out and tries to go around the outside if he sees those defensive ends crashing hard.
I've never seen that done in person. You know how Ohio State does the swinging arms thing before kickoff? I've never seen that done in person until now. Just a little bit of a note I noticed. Enough of what I think. Let's play ball. That'll be fielded just shy of the 15. And not going to go much else.
And that's going to be number 0, Tramel Musgrove. He's just a freshman. He's a big freshman, though. And, again, I was told he's a pretty good athlete. Capital has athletes all over the field. And I know when I was talking to Brad Compton midweek, you could hear the concern in his voice. He said they are really athletic when you watch them on film. So we'll see how Oak Hill does with that this first drive.
We'll spot the ball at the 18, 1st and 10 here for the Devils. Endicott will take the snap. He'll hand the ball off to Cade Compton, and that's going to get to about the 20, call it 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and again, I think we're probably going to see a lot of that. A heavy dose of Cade Compton going north-south. And they're going to try to test the interior of that Capital defense because I'm not sure how comfortable they feel getting out on the edges against them.
Right.
But look for them to pull that out of his belly and set something up with the QB run, too.
2nd down and 8. Endicott will drop to throw. He will. That pass is maybe batted at the line.
It was.
It falls incomplete.
Yeah, that was number 4, JoJo Green, who got a hand on that. Yeah, he was looking for a little mid-range hitch right there, but Green was able to get his hands up, and so we'll put Oak Hill on a 3rd and long here. And with this being a passing down, don't be surprised if Capital pins their ears back with those defensive ends and really tries to get after Luke here.
That's exactly what I was thinking, too. They'll bring a man in motion across the formation. Snap is back. Endicott will drop to throw. That pass is incomplete. And it'll be 4th and 8 for Oak Hill.
So that was Tomas Cintron from his defensive tackle position, number 57. He made a nice little swim move right in the interior of the line, and he was able to get pressure right up the middle. And he rushed Luke, and Luke had to throw that a little earlier than he wanted to, and that's going to force a punt here. Now, be careful here. Damian Johnson, number 5, the punt returner. Again, I was told this kid is lightning. He's returned, I believe, 5 punts for touchdowns. So 3 of them have been called back. But that still goes to show you
he can break it.
How dangerous this kid is. He's supposed to be really fast.
And Oak Hill's punt game, as we know, has been interesting.
It's had its problems.
They get it away. And that's going to take an Oak Hill roll, but he will field it.
Nice tackle.
That's a great tackle is what that was.
Brennan Brooks, the freshman, got down there, and he was able to get Johnson before he was able to get started. So nice special teams that play that time for Brennan Brooks. But Capital does have good field positions. They're taking over on the Oak Hill side of the field here. It looks like they're going to spot the ball right at the 45-yard line. Now, Capital does typically not throw at the ball. That they like to stick with their ground game. But again, their workhorse is out, so we'll see if that changes their strategy any at all. But the first 5 games, Capital likes to keep it on the ground. They don't throw the ball very much at all. In fact, Fernando Valdavia, their quarterback, only has 36 pass attempts in 5 games.
3 receivers. On the near side, that's going to be a handoff going up the middle. And not much there, maybe a yard.
Yeah, it looks like a zone read, and Valdavia looked like he wasn't sure if he wanted to pull it or hand it off, but he handed it off to Camden Harris, and Harris didn't get much. Nice job by James Ludwig, among others, on that tackle to hold him to a 1-yard gain there.
2nd down 9 from the 44-yard line.
Now, I know they don't throw it a lot, but if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, you see a big mismatch in size between number 4, JoJo Green, and Antoine Hicks.
They're not going to throw it. They're going to hand it off instead and get about another yard and make it 3rd and 8 for Capital now.
So nice job by the interior of that Oak Hill defense. That was Derek Sullivan right there, and then that was Jagger Knox, who missed the last game against Greenbrier East from his outside linebacker position. They held that to a short gain. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and long for Capital, and their offense is not built for 3rd and long. And Oak Hill showing a blitz, and here they come.
Pitch. Well
nice
done
job.
there.
All over it.
Looked like that was Solomon Truman who got to him.
Solomon Truman making his presence felt in his first game back after missing the last couple. But they played that speed option perfectly. They had both options, the quarterback and the pitch man, covered up, and Capital had nowhere to go. Nice opening series for the Oak Hill defense right there.
So as we trade punts here in the opening 2.5 minutes of the first quarter. Gee, feels like we should have played more than 2.5.
Looks like Valdavia, the quarterback, is also their punter. And Antoine Hicks is back around the 15-yard line to receive it. I'm always leery when the quarterback is also the punter. You never know if they're going to try to sneak a fake in.
Well, they played it honest this time, and that will not be returned. Instead, it'll be down at about the... No, it will be returned.
Wow, that is so dangerous. That was Z. Lewis, and I'm not a fan.
No,
I'm not a fan.
no.
Just get away from that. I do not like that. I don't know. I would coach him up down there.
Yeah, you and me both be like, son.
He made my heart skip a beat. I didn't love that.
And he made a fool out of me. Come on. All right. 27-yard lines where Oak Hill starts their second possession of the ball game. We'll see if we get another heavy dose of K. Compton on this possession, or if they've now set it up to the point where they can pull it out of his gut and let Luke do some work.
So Oak Hill's doing something different here. They're going with the tight end out here to the right.
And so they're going to hand off out of that formation, and they're going to get maybe a yard or two.
Now, that's something Brad told me, that they put that package in over the bye week, because in the 2 years that Devon Marion, or this is actually his third year, he's never had a tight end. And if you noticed on that play right there, Jagger Knox, number 26, was lined up as a tight end out to the right. So that is a little wrinkle they put in. That's something Capital's never seen on film, and we'll see if Oak Hill wants to do something else out of there, like maybe try to sneak him over the middle for a pass or something.
Right.
He's lined up to the left right now.
2nd down 9 on our scoreboard here. Handoff going up the middle once again. And it's going to be Cade. He's going to cross the 30 before he gets stopped right there. They're going to mark him at the 31.
And, you know, is that a huge gain? It's not a huge gain, but I think Oak Hill's going to have to keep doing that.
Yeah.
You just have to keep plugging away and get your 2 or 3 yards, and maybe 2 or 3 turns into 4 or 5, and maybe 4 or 5 turns into 6 or 7.
Right.
But just keep plugging away on that. That brings up a 3rd and, what are we looking at? 3rd and 5 here now for Oak Hill. Capital showing a blitz from their linebackers here. And here they come.
Luke can't get out of it.
Yeah, it was Camden Harris, and they were showing a blitz pre-snap that they were coming, and they did come. But, yeah, like you said, Luke had play action fake to Cade, and he was trying to get out to the outside. There was nothing doing. Camden Harris wrapped him up before he could get going.
I'll make a point. I'll kind of echo the point that you made. That seemed like, to me, it developed in a hurry. They were just there.
Yeah, I mean, Capital was showing a blitz, and they brought more than Oak Hill could block with that 5-man line.
And the athleticism they just got there, yeah.
And it looks like they're coming on this punt, too. So
watch it.
Luke's got to be really careful here.
He gets it off. He touched it. That's good. Good indeed. Good indeed. We'll see where they mark that at the 36-yard line. 37, keep walking.
Second consecutive nice special teams play by a freshman. That time it was number 33, Riley Biggs, who got down there. And, again, I was told that number 5, Damian Johnson's a really dangerous punt returner. Oak Hill so far, though, has been able to get down there and get the nice open field tackles on him.
Just almost halfway home, first quarter, 6:40 specifically. And no scoring as of yet. Capital starting their second drive of the game. They'll bring a man in motion across the formation. They'll hand the ball off once again. And there's another good job by the interior of the Oak Hill line to stuff that out for no gain.
Yeah, it sure was. Braden Knight and Derek Sullivan doing what they're supposed to do, just holding up in that interior and nothing doing in there. They gave Oak Hill a little eye candy with motion that time. Now, don't be surprised if they show that motion at some point and run a jet sweep off of it. They're just going to maybe see how Oak Hill reacts to that motion at first and then see what they want to do off of that.
This kind of feels like a game where both teams are going to kind of plug away and see what sticks.
Yeah, they might have to.
Quarterback rolling out. That's a pass, and it's dropped. Was that 10 or 16 out there?
I think it was number 16. I have that as Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah.
They were trying to set up a screen out there. Solomon had done a good job of fighting through the block at JoJo Green. I think he was going to be out there in the flat to make a play on that. So Oak Hill looked like they were in good position as Capital tried their first pass of the game.
And the way they're going, it might be the only pass they try until the fourth quarter. just based on what you've said.
Yeah, they don't like to throw it a lot. That's not their forte.
And they're getting the receivers
There's some
set up
confusion here right now.
and they're already down to 7 on the play clock. They're going to get it off. And I was wrong once again. Maybe I should stop making declarative statements. That's a pass to the outside. It's going to be a first down and then some. They'll scoot out at about the 49-yard line.
Well, you saw the speed. And they just swung it out in the flat to Jordan Whitehead. Solomon got out there, and Whitehead was just able to outflank him and get outside him and get that first down, first down of the game for either team. But that's what Brad was telling me that scared him a little bit, was out in space. Capital has some athletes, and Oak Hill actually had that defended pretty well, but the speed got the first down that time for Capital.
Ball rests on the 48-yard line of Oak Hill. First down 10 for the Cougars. Screen. We'll get it out here to DJ Spencer. And a flag comes in behind the play. And they're still jabbing back and forth.
Yeah, they blew it dead. They said it's forward momentum and stop it. Yeah, that looks like that flag's going to be right in the area of holding. That'll probably push Capital back.
Ten-yard penalty. We play the down.
So it will be a hold against Capital, a 10-yard variety, and we'll replay first down. With a now first and 20 for the Cougars.
But if I'm Capital, I might try that screen game a little bit.
Yeah.
I might see if I can get my athletes in space. Because so far, I mean, when I know we're early in the game, when they've tried the interior of that Oak Hill defensive line, there hasn't been a lot of real estate right there.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, here we go. First and 20 now for Capital, though. Drop to throw once again. That pass is caught out there on the outside. That's number 2, Teray Rush.
Nice job by Valdavia. So it looked like he was, in fact, when he pulled it down, I thought that was a design QB draw at first. But then before he crossed the line of scrimmage, he found Rush out there. So, that's always something that has to keep the defense honest when the QB can scramble, but then keep his eyes downfield. So nice job that time by Valdavia to get a nice little pickup off what was a first and 20, and it's second and 13.
You'll say, ordinarily you'd love that to be. You'll take a gain of 7 on a first down.
Yeah, still a solid 7-yard gain.
Yeah. Snap is back. Valdavia will drop to throw. He's got a man downfield. That pass is incomplete. He was wide open.
He was wide open. You're right. He was looking for Whitehead, who had ran a flag pattern. And, I mean, you're right. He was wide open. He just didn't put it on him, but that's something Oak Hill's going to have to get buttoned up. It looks like they were dropping into a zone that time, and Whitehead ran a flag from that slot position on the left-hand side, and there was nobody around him.
That'll set up a 3rd and 13 here for Capital. On the 49-yard line, the 3 receivers to the near side.
Oak Hill's going with the 2 safety look. A lot of times they'll go single safety. That was a blitz off the corner, too.
Pass is caught. They'll get back to just across the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and long for the Cougars.
So Oak Hill did something that if they've done it in the past, maybe I've missed it, but they brought Antoine Hicks off a blitz off the corner position down here on the short side of the field. So that's a little wrinkle again. Maybe in the bye week you throw that in there and show them something they haven't seen on film, because I haven't seen a corner blitz from Oak Hill before, and that time they ran one.
I can't recall one myself. Is that a timeout or an injured player?
I think we have an injury down there for Capital.
Yeah. So tell you what, Chris, let's just step aside real quick, and we'll come back with 5:05 to go in the opening quarter. And what might just be the shortest break ever in TV history. We're back.
And 4th and 8, looks like Capital's going to be punting this away. And I don't blame them given how their defenses looked. I'd be playing some field position here. A lot of times in high school ball, once they cross the 50,
It's 4 down.
it's 4 down territory. But with the way the first 2 possessions have went for Oak Hill, I don't blame Capital. Instead of going for it on 4th and 8, I would punt it away and trust my defense here.
Well, I don't know what Coach Merriam might not be entirely trusting in this. This took his first time out. So,
Maybe that's true too. And like we mentioned before, Valdavia, the quarterback, is also the punter. So maybe you burn a timeout just to say, hey, let's keep our head on a swivel here and make sure they're not trying to do anything too underhanded on us.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Yeah, maybe take a timeout and just make sure your team knows that.
Because we always think about it being, a punter can't throw. We know he can throw it.
Sure,
right.
absolutely.
So, you know. Kick is away. I think I saw a fair catch.
Just get away from it.
Just get away.
Antoine, just get away from it.
No, I thought that ball bounced into the chest.
It did.
Okay.
It did, yeah. That hit a Capital player.
Okay.
It did. But if Antoine would have touched it and bobbled it, that's still, still a live ball.
Well, my point was the field position. Put it down once it touches. Yeah.
I think they are. I think they're actually moving that up closer to the 15. So, yeah, your eyes weren't deceiving you. That's good
to know. That's not usually the case.
So, yeah, I mean, we've had 4 offensive possessions, 2 for each team. We've only seen 1 first down. So,
if you like defense, this is your game so far.
If you like defense, this has been your game so far. That's true.
Those of us old school guys appreciate a good defensive battle. Snap is back, another handoff. And again, not much room, but he found a way through to get a couple yards.
Yeah, Cade kept his legs turned. It looked like I was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Cade, like you said, he got 2 or 3 out of it. And again, that's not an exciting play, but you got to just keep chipping away with the run game. I'm a big believer in that. You got to keep chipping away and stick to it. And as long as the score dictates that you can, the game doesn't get away from you, Oak Hill can keep chipping away at with that run game.
2nd down and 8 officially, so he got 2. Endicott will drop to throw. That pass is incomplete. Knocked out of the hands of the receiver. That was Caleb Compton out there.
Yeah, he wanted Caleb on a quick hitch route there just to get a few yards. Caleb couldn't hold on to it. And again, at the receiver position, we're playing some kids who haven't got to play a lot at receiver. With Carson being out, now Owen Gross is out for the year.
Tyler Colosino, who's been pushed into.
Exactly. And he had caught a touchdown pass against Shady. So now you're trying to rely on some kids who frankly haven't played very much at those positions. And that's a tough position to be in for Oak Hill.
3rd down and 8. Seems like we've said that on every drive.
Yes, it does.
And they'll bring a man in motion across the formation. Endicott will drop to throw. Has time. Has a pass over the middle that's knocked down, incomplete.
Yeah,
he was going for Caleb again.
He wanted Caleb again, and that was nice defense that time by number 9 for Capital. That's Jamal Dotson. And, just a good defensive play that time from Capital. As again, they brought some pressure that time. I thought Oak Hill picked up the pressure a little bit better that time, and they gave Luke a pocket to step into, but there was good coverage downfield.
And a flag comes in here.
Not sure what this is either. But again, with Oak Hill being pinned back
illegal
here,
substitution, offense. 12 men on the field.
Oh, they had 12 minutes. A little. And again, when you have kids out and now you're bringing backups in, sometimes that rears its ugly head on special teams.
Yeah.
Because kids that normally don't play special teams now are forced into it, and we saw some confusion right there. So, again, that's one of the downfalls of injuries too. it shows up on special teams.
Backs up the punt to the goal line. Capital came after it, and whistle here, and a flag at the 12-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that might have been a blessing for Oak Hill. I don't know what the flag was, but Capital had gotten a hand on that. That ball had been deflected, and Capital was going to get really good field position.
Ball start. Offense.
They're going to get really good field position anyway. But
I mean, it could have been that much worse
and
for Oak Hill had it not.
Capital's pinning their ears back at this point. They're really going to come after this punt, so Luke's going to have to get it away quickly.
He's only got like 3 yards to the back of his end zone. He got it away, and that's a really good kick.
Yeah.
It's going to go over the head of the returner. He'll field it and be a touchdown right there at about the 49-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that worked out much better for Oak Hill than I thought it might.
Yes.
When I saw Luke standing that deep at his end zone, for Capital to be taken over at the, let's see where they mark it. I mean, it's good field position, don't get me wrong. They're going to mark it at the 45, but I was afraid that Capital might take over inside the 30 or the 25.
You're more optimistic than I am. I was thinking the 15.
Yeah, so that actually turned out better for Oak Hill than I anticipated. I guarantee you Devon Marion will take that.
Oh, absolutely he will. Absolutely he will. So Capital now begins their, what is this, Chris, third offensive possession?
I think it's actually their fourth.
Fourth, yeah. We're already losing track. All right, here's a snap. It's a pass that's incomplete.
Nice job by Caleb Compton. And I'll tell you what, I've mentioned this in previous broadcasts. Caleb is a kid that hasn't played since his 8th grade year, and he decided to come back out this year. I've been really impressed with him as a defensive back. And he showed good. So that was a penalty. We missed that. But, you know, Caleb was running step for step with him. He actually kind of pinned him to the sideline, so he didn't have a lot of field to work with anyway. So I've really been impressed with Caleb Compton as a defensive back since he's gotten in these games for Oak Hill. He's done a really nice. In fact, he leads them in pass breakups, and I think he missed the first 2 games, or at least the first game.
At least the first game, yeah. And that backs Capital up to their own 45 now, as this pass comes to the 50. Trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, he'll be about a yard short.
Yeah, but I like that play. I like that play for Capital. Just a little short hitch out there to the sideline. They get you 7 or 8 yards. You know, the run game hasn't been going, and, you know, Valdavia saw they were giving them a little cushion. So just run you a little quick hitch out there, and that's a nice little game for Capital.
Get your athletes out in space.
Absolutely.
And they're going to do it again. This time it's caught on the near side. And Oak Hill's there to drag him down.
Nice job by Solomon Truman as he fought through that block and was able to get the tackle in the backfield. It's a really nice job, and that's already a couple nice plays for Solomon. So Oak Hill's missed him. He's a good player. I don't think he's going to get a lot of snaps on offense tonight. Brad told me if he played, it would be mostly defense, but he's already made his presence felt on the defensive side of the ball for Oak Hill.
I'll say as he makes this a 3rd down and long, that's 17 yards to go exactly for Capital.
And again, Oak Hill going with a 2-high safety look, which is a little different from them. A lot of times Oak Hill will go with a single high. But they got 2 safeties back right now.
Screen out to the near side. I'll cut it back into the middle.
Fumble.
That ball's on the ground. And who has it? Oak Hill says they do. And the ruling is Oak Hill ball.
It might have been Antoine Hicks who came up with it, but I want to give credit to Big Derek Sullivan. So they tried to run that tunnel screen, and Big Derek Sullivan, who's got a lot of weight to move, man, he's a big kid. He did a really nice job of initially rushing the passer, recognizing the screen, and then he's the one that jarred that ball loose. So nice job by number 70, Derek Sullivan, right there. And I like to give credit to the right kid. I think Antoine came up with that. If I'm wrong, I'll try to correct that later. But really nice job by the Oak Hill defense regardless.
I did not see who it was, so I can't corroborate that, but I can tell you Oak Hill takes over right at midfield. And they'll bring Antoine in motion and swing it out to him. Antoine will cut it back to the near side and get about a yard or so, if anything.
Yeah, they try to get their own athletes out in space. Nice tackle that time by number 5, Damian Johnson. As Oak Hill tried their own screen game that time, and Antoine did all he could just to get 2 yards out of that.
Second down, 8 for Oak Hill. Ball resting, of course, on the 48-yard line.
Now, the freshman number 10, Brendan Brooks, has checked into the game. Again, I'm telling you, Oak Hill's leaning on some kids at the receiver position they haven't had to lean on much. He's down here at the bottom of the screen. Jagger Knox is lined up at a split end at the top of the screen. He hasn't played much receiver this year either.
Endicott will drop to throw. That pass is incomplete.
Yeah, so he was trying to hit Z. Lewis on a post pattern that time. He had a small window. It might be lucky overthrew him. If he puts that ball on the money, I'm not sure it's going to fit through that window anyway. Capital might have deflected or even intercepted it. So Oak Hill facing a 3rd and long here. And you wonder if Devon Marion's thinking this is 4-down territory.
Previous history has shown he may well be.
Previous history definitely has shown that he considers this 4-down territory. We'll see what happens on 3rd down here to influence his decision, though.
He brought Caleb Compton across the formation, and they'll drop to throw once again. Luke's got to get out of the pocket. He does, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's still going to make it 4th down and 8.
Well, that was number 6, Ja'Cory Clark, who I told you about. He leads the team in sacks. I don't know if that's going to go down as a sack or not, but yeah, Luke didn't quite feel that pressure from the backside there, and he's lucky that Ja'Cory didn't jar that ball loose, because for a minute there, when I saw Ja'Cory chasing him down, and Luke kind of had the ball out like a loaf of bread, I was afraid we might have a loose ball situation.
Well, we're about to find out, and it looks like Oak Hill set up to go for it. And with 10 on the play clock, they got to go.
No,
False start.
that might change your thinking right now.
It might just, yeah.
And I think it is. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 13. And I think Oak Hill's thinking punt right now. And I would too.
Yeah. So with 45.2 seconds to go in the quarter, Oak Hill will punt it away. Nearly blocked once again, but it gets away. And that's a live ball, and it's recovered by Capital. Looked like that was DJ Spencer who fell on it.
Very lucky break for Capital. Yeah, you're right. That could have been a huge play for Oak Hill. So, yeah, nice heads-up play by Spencer to fall on it. Avert disaster for the Cougars.
That'd be one way to flip the field, wouldn't it?
I don't think I've ever seen this many possessions in one quarter. We're still not out of the first quarter.
I know, right?
This is like their 5th possession.
It's already 8 o'clock. Jet sweep out to the far side. That's going to be the great punt returner Johnson. He's going to get a couple here, and that clock keeps rolling.
So there was something in that formation that the coaches knew what was coming. You could see Devon Marion and a couple of the other coaches down there signaling to the far side, hey, be ready. They knew a jet sweep was coming that time with Johnson. So I guess they had seen in film that when they get in that formation, they kind of had a wing lined up to the left. They knew a jet sweep was coming. Solomon Truman did a nice job of getting out there and holding that to a fairly short gain, though.
Can Capital snap it before the end of the quarter? Yes, they can. They'll hand the ball off. And that is how the first quarter will come to a close. No scoring, but plenty of possessions for you. After 12 minutes of ball, we're still knotted up and nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on the Minerva Network. Welcome you back in here. Lucas Berry, Chris Rader with you on the Nerva Network. We're about to start quarter number 2. And we still have no scoring to report, but we've had a lot of defense so far in this one.
Now, I'm wondering if that last play, if they got that off in time, because the down marker didn't move. They're still showing that as a second down. I thought they got the play off.
I thought they got it off with like 4 seconds.
I did too, but right now the line of scrimmage hasn't moved, and they're still showing second down. So I don't know. I thought they got the play off in time. I think if I'm Devon Marion, I'm asking about that anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking, this is I beats me.
So they're still showing this as a 2nd and 8. I don't know. I thought they got a playoff before that. I thought it should be 3rd down coming out of that
quarter break. Yeah. All right.
So I'm confused.
That's a sack, I can tell you that much.
Nice job by James Ludwig, who leads Oak Hill in sacks that's pulling down. Why didn't they change fields? I'm confused. So the quarter, we're in the second quarter, but they did not change sides of the field. So now we're showing a 3rd down, but Capital should be down here at the other end of the field. They should be down here in the south end of the field. And I'm wondering if the refs are just now figuring that out. And I think they are.
I think they are, yeah.
Okay, so what we're being told is they're going to reset the clock to 12 minutes. Now the quarter is going to start anew down here. So, I don't know, man. I was confused from the start on that because I don't know. I don't know what happened. That's unfortunate for Oak Hill because I don't know if that sack is going to stand or not. I guess we'll see. But
I guess we'll see.
I don't know.
If it ends up being an untimed down, it's fruitless to try to figure it out.
I frankly don't know what the game situation is right now. We'll see what down it is and what the distance is, but the refs kind of screwed that up.
Yeah, so they're spotting that ball at the 18.
So let's see here. So I think the sack is going to stand.
Yeah, it's still starting 3rd down.
So Ludwig's sack stands. I think that's his 6th of the year. I'll check my stats later. But Ludwig leads the team in sacks. He's a really good pass rusher. James is a really good pass rusher off that defensive end, and showed it again there. So
what amounted to an untimed down counts, and Oak Hill now has a great chance to get the good field position here on 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd and long. The line to make is the 33-yard line. And Oak Hill showing blitz, and they back out of it, though.
Pass is incomplete. He had him.
He sure did. And I'll tell you what, man, that's a couple times that Valdavia has had an open receiver and just has not been able to put the ball on him. But, man, like you said, he was wide open running down the sideline there. And if he catches that, he's probably scoring. So, couple of fortunate breaks for Oak Hill in the pass game, but you also see maybe why Capital doesn't throw the ball that often either.
Right? Yeah, this is. I'm no expert, but this is probably the most they've thrown in a game so far.
Well, he came into the game with only 36 pass attempts in 5 games.
Right. So do the math.
Just a little over 7 a game, and they've already thrown that many or more. We just started the second quarter.
Oak Hill's got to get Solomon Truman off. I don't think they're going to.
I don't think the refs caught it, though.
I don't think they did, no, but Solomon was hustling, man.
So that's really good field position for Oak Hill. I think that's their well, they had a turnover too, so they're starting in Capital territory, but man, neither team can get anything going. But you're just like it might be first one to 3. Somebody can kick a field goal or get a safety or something.
We might be looking at it and thinking, did someone forfeit this game at the end of it?
We might be looking at a playoff baseball score at the end of this. We'll see.
We might just.
The defenses have definitely dominated here in the first half so far.
13 seconds into the second quarter, Oak Hill will take over from the 45-yard line. And they'll send 3 receivers to the near side, 1 out wide. They'll single back in the backfield. Screen out wide to Z. Lewis. Z will catch it. He'll get shoved across the line of scrimmage and right back to it.
Well, that's Tramel Musgrove, number 0, who made that tackle. And if you look at him, he's a big kid, especially to be a freshman. He's a nice-looking athlete. And again, my buddy Tater had told me, he said, keep an eye on number 0, just a freshman. That they like him down in Charleston. They think he's going to be a player down there for them.
Showing the pressure off the edge.
Yes, they are.
Luke's going to get it away. That pass is just about caught.
There was a lot of contact. They're going to keep their flags in their pocket down there. There was a lot of contact down there between Antoine Hicks and number 5, Damian Johnson.
To be honest with you, if there was going to be a call, I would have thought it would have been on Antoine.
There was some contact. I don't have a big problem with it being a no call.
No.
I didn't think there was anything egregious enough to throw a flag one way or another. Whatever the case was, Capital had really good coverage down there. Johnson was step for step with him. Looks like
Antoine's coming up a little worse for wear.
Is that Antoine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Antoine. Those green shoes. Yeah, Antoine's shaking up, so we're going to have actually a timeout on the field here, I think.
And he'll get attended to. Looked like he was kind of.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get his breath or something.
Something. Yeah. Either way, with 11:02 to go in the second quarter, we don't have a score yet. As we'll get a 3rd and 10 upcoming here for Oak Hill. And on an obvious passing down, I'll just make an observation. The last few times Oak Hill has dropped back, that pockets look pretty good.
Yeah, they pretty good protection that time. I agree with you.
They'll bring Z across the formation, and they'll try to get it out to him. That pass is caught, and that should be close to a first down.
I think he might have it.
I
That's going
think
to be
he
really
might.
close, and that's a really good individual effort that time from Z because he caught that ball short of the sticks and made a couple men miss. I think they're going to mark him just short, Lucas.
Yeah, they're going to say it's 4th down and from me to you.
Yeah, 4th and very short here, so Oak Hill obviously going to go for it, but a nice effort from Z to put him in a 4th and short position here. So let's see what they want to do. They're going to line up in the gun.
Line to gain, it's a 39. Handoff going to Cade Compton. Yep, that's going to be a turnover on downs as Capital read that like a book.
Yeah, they were expecting that. Number 57, Tomas Centron, who's already made one night. He had a nice pass rush early in the game. That time makes a tackle in the backfield. And true to form, the defense holds, and that's what both defenses have done the whole game is hold the offenses at bay. It's a nice job by Capital, and they take over at their own 39 here.
If you watched our game we had last night in middle school football, it ended 8-6 to Fayetteville over Valley Creek K8. We might be heading for a similar situation, and it's playing out a lot like that so far. And the play clock stopped at 11 seconds for a reason I'm unable to determine.
My fear is that Capital at some point is going to hit one of these patterns downfield that have been open a couple times and they've missed.
Yeah. Because there's no indication that there's no reason to think it won't still be there.
If I've seen it, if I'm a coach and I've seen it, I'm like, we'll keep trying it. We'll hit one of them eventually.
Oh, yeah. They'll bring a man in motion across the formation. Dropping the throw once again. They'll try it this time. That pass is incomplete.
Yeah, they were trying to hit their speedster Johnson. Pretty good coverage down there. That was Z. Lewis he's playing safety, and he did what a safety's supposed to do. He was helping out Caleb Compton on that post pattern, so they had pretty good coverage down there anyway. So nice job by the Oak Hill defense. He wasn't as open as the previous two had been on balls downfield.
Second down 10 now for the Cougars.
Now, Oak Hill is giving these receivers some cushion, though. They're respecting that speed.
Keep it himself. Will Valdivia.
Yeah, so they tried to run that speed option out there. James Lovell did a nice job of fighting off his block and bringing Valdivia down. He got like 3 yards, but you'll live with that. So nice job by James Ludwig, who's had a really nice season this year from that defensive end position for Oak Hill.
Third down 7 for Capital. Ball on the 41-yard line. 42, rather, line against 49.
So if I'm Capital, maybe you look at the top of the screen. Antoine's giving him some room. I'll maybe look for a little short hitch here and see if he can make a man miss and make a play in space. It's just me playing armchair coach, and that's exactly what he does.
They'll get the first down.
Yeah, they were thinking what I was thinking on that. You see some cushion, and I know why they give him cushion, because Capital's fast. But when you see cushion out there at the top of the screen, you might be thinking, okay, well, I'll throw it 4 or 5 yards out there and see if he can make somebody miss. That's exactly what he did, and that moves the sticks.
I'll keep saying it as long as it's still true. Get your athletes out in space and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Handoff going up the middle, and that's going to get about 4 yards there.
I don't think it's getting that many.
Okay, 3.
You might be right. You got about 3. There just hasn't been a lot in that middle.
No, there really hasn't.
Derek Sullivan and Braden Knight. Yeah, we'll call it a gain of 3, which is honestly that might be their best run in the interior is 3 yards. I don't know if they've gotten that many. Derek and Braden have really held their ground in there, like you're supposed to with those defensive tackle positions. So yeah, I'll bring up a 2nd and 7, but that's probably Capital's best run in between the tackles tonight.
Valdavia will take the snap. He'll turn it and hand the ball off once again. That's going to be DJ Spencer on the carry. And he's going to get 2 or 3 more.
Yeah. But, if you get 2 or 3, that puts you in a 3rd and medium. Your playbook is open up to you. I think John Carpenter right now is, I would be thinking 4-down territory.
Yeah.
At this point, you got a 3rd and 4, you're in Oak Hill territory. So I'm thinking you have 2 plays to get this.
Handoff up the middle. Should be a first down, I think.
Yeah, that's going to be a first down. That's their best run of the night. They run a little zone read that time. And that looks like true zone reads that they're running. I think Valdavia is trying to decide whether or not to give it or keep it. He decided to give it to Johnson. There was enough push that time to move the sticks, and this is Capital's best drive of the night.
Valdavia will take the snap. They'll get it out wide. That pass is caught. And there's that speed you talked about that's going to go across the 15 near the 10. And all of a sudden the Cougars are on the doorstep.
Yeah, they are. And like you mentioned before, I would say this has easily been the most Capitals probably passed all year. So they're trying to get that screen game going. And that time, you're right, they just got an athlete out in space. He made a man miss. And now Capital is in the red zone at the Oak Hill 12-yard line.
And a false start that should be on the line there.
That'll drive Carpenter crazy because, you have back-to-back really good plays.
False start, offense.
Then you get a false start, put you behind the sticks at first and 15.
First and 15 from the 17, so it's time to break out the old line. They can't get a first down without scoring.
Yeah.
First and 15 from the 17-yard line for the Cougars.
So they're putting trips out there to the short side, and they have a tight end lined up here to the left. Now, they did this a couple plays ago, and they ran that zone read over here to the left, just as a straight QB keep. Good blocking.
Going to be near the end zone. They're going to mark him short of the first down. So it'll be 2nd down and probably an inch.
Yeah, but a really good run. He found some real estate over there on that left-hand side. That's their best run of the night, and Capital is now knocking on the door.
Setting down at 1 for the 3rd yard.
Same formation here out from Capital. Same play.
He's going to take it in. He's in. Touchdown, Capital.
Touchdown.
So there you go. We said, we might be the first team to score, so Capital gets on the board. Now Oak Hill's got to answer them as Capital puts together their best drive of the night. Valdavia cashes it in from from 2 yards out, and the Cougars take the lead here with 6:04 left.
Extra point is up, and it's no good. It hits the upright, and so it stays 6-0.
We'll see if that ends up being a big deal or not. You
Yeah.
know, right now it looks like that in this game points might be at a premium.
And that might be really important at the
Yeah,
end of
it
this.
could be. Yeah, if Oak Hill gets their own touchdown, is able to convert their extra point, that might end up being a big play in this game.
So after
But Oak Hill's got to get in the end zone first.
yeah, you got to do your part first. So after what feels like a million possessions, we finally have points. Capital 6, Oak Hill nothing. Chris, I was actually going to ask you this question before Capital had that huge play. Which head coach do you think is happy with how the game's played out so far?
Oh, that's a good question. Well,
Save the score.
save the. I don't know. That's a good question. Before the score, I'm not sure who would be happy with that. You know, you're just in this defensive ball game, and there was a stalemate. Now, after the score, it's John Carpenter's.
Yes.
Let me get out my cheat sheet, and I can tell you what coach is happier right now.
I could told you that.
I'll say Devon Marion, just because he hangs his hat on defense. So I would say Devon Marion he's probably comfortable in a defensive battle.
I was going to say Devon, but not for defense because of how his backups have played and held their own so far.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would agree with that.
Anyway, here's the kickoff return.
Oh, good move.
Pretty good return. Z's going to get it out to the 40, to the 43.
That was a really good return by Z. Lewis. He made a couple of nifty moves that time. Got it out to the 43. Yeah, that was a really good kick return that time by the senior. Now, Oak Hill's got to get something going. Now, here's, again, I'll play armchair coach. Maybe, I said we might see some plays where you pull it out of Cade's belly and let Luke keep it. Maybe run some QB power here because they've set on Cade pretty good. Give him something different. But it's easy for me. When I'm up here calling plays and I don't have a stake in it.
They're going to get a screen out, and that's dropped. Ball's incomplete.
I'll tell you what, I thought for a minute that might be a little lateral, too.
Me too.
So that was a real break. They blew that dead because I thought we might be looking at second and a mile for a minute there. I'm not so sure it wasn't a lateral.
I think it was.
It was close.
It was very close.
It was close. That's a break for Oak Hill. They blew it dead. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Put it that way, and we'll take it. Stops the clock with 5:46 to go in the half.
Now, they had a two-back set here. They haven't shown this yet.
Handoff.
Still not a lot doing.
And they're going to finally blow it dead after a gain of 2 yards, I think.
But showed them a little something different that time. They hadn't went to a two-back set that time. So they did put Solomon in there. I wasn't sure if he was going to get any time on the offensive side of the ball tonight. He had a lower leg injury. And he's cleared to play, obviously, but I think they're still trying to protect that leg.
Yeah,
and so Claire told me, he said,
right.
We're not sure if we're going to play him on offense, but desperate times and maybe, have a two-back look, show him something different, have a extra blocker to even up the numbers in the box there, too.
Looks like he's back there again. They're still in that two-back look on 3rd down and 7.
Capital looks like they're going with 2 safeties here.
5 on the play clock, fellas.
Might take a timeout.
I think we might have to.
Yeah.
Yep, timeout called by head coach Devon Marion. I was getting kind of worried. I'm going, So that's leave Oak Hill with just 1 for the last 4:50 to go in the half.
Yeah, you want to dial up something here, and because Oak Hill's had so much trouble moving the ball against this Capital defense, and I don't know, you're flipping through the playbook at this point trying to find something that works, but you're seeing that athleticism for Capital, and they've held up though on the north-south run game too. I think that's something Oak Hill thought they might be able to have a little success with them against, but I got to say the interior of that Capital line has held up against Oak Hill too. Cade hasn't had a lot of room to run when he's gotten the ball, and they just haven't found anything that's worked here so far tonight.
We take pride in delivering compassionate personal care to our pets and their guardians in Oak Hill and surrounding areas.
So that brings us out after the timeout again in the 3rd and 7 here from the 47. Handoff once again. That's going to cross the 50. And Chris, it kind of felt like Coach Marion knew he was going 2 plays in that one.
I would, if you're running that play on 3rd and 7, I would agree. I think he's looking at this as 2 plays to get 7 yards. That was a decent gain. Got him 3.
That's one of the best
4.
runs up the middle.
That probably is. I was saying earlier, Capital hadn't got much. That's probably Cade's best run of the night too. Just that 4-yard run right there. Now Capital's taking their own time out to talk about it.
Ahead of what might just be, when we go back and look at the end of this game, a really important play. As Oak Hill has a 4th and 3 here, trying to respond after Capital breaks the deadlock at 6.
Yeah, you feel like you really like to keep this drive going and get a score here, because again, you think points are going to be at a premium unless something drastically changes in the second half. Both defenses have had the offenses on lockdown, so we'll see what Coach Marion wants to do here. And again, this is just me talking. I wouldn't mind maybe going QB power. We haven't seen that. You have 2 backs back there. Maybe have the lead blocker for Luke and see what he can do and even up the numbers in that box a little bit.
Nope. It's going to be Cade. He's going to, I think, get the first down.
Yeah, a nice job by Cade, too. A really good patient run, because initially that looked like it was going to be stacked up. And just a nice patient run from Cade. He found a little seam, and he was able to keep the drive alive. That's a big first down for Oak Hill. They needed that. And again, you can. I mean, it's just 6-0. You can keep chipping away.
Oh, yeah.
You can keep chipping away with that run game. And
this guy who you get down does not mean you have to abandon that.
Get 3 or 4 yards, and just keep chipping away at it.
Handoff once again going up the middle with Cade. He's going to get about 3-4 yards.
But that was Solomon that time. But that's something you can. Yeah, those are positive gains. They're not exciting. They're not going to make the WOAY highlight reel.
Right.
But that's something that keeps you on schedule. So those runs keep you on schedule. And you still got plenty of time here in the first half. So, maybe keep plugging away with that 2-back look, where you've evened up the numbers a little bit.
My apologies to Solomon for not getting that. I really thought it was Cade. I did not read the 5 down there. Handoff up the middle once again.
And there you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's near a first down.
Yeah, that's 3rd and short. Now you have 2 plays to get
a yard.
What looks like less than a yard here. And now Oak Hill starting to see, and again, a nice adjustment from Coach Marion. They've been going single back look. Comes out now. He's going 2-back. Evens up the numbers a little bit. And you see Oak Hill starting to run the ball a little more effectively than they have in previous drives.
We're under 3 minutes to go in the half, though, down to 2:51. The 3rd down, and says 1, but it may as well be inches.
Capital showing pressure, bringing those linebackers up in the gaps. Oh,
Endicott will drop to throw. That pass is incomplete. And now that sets up a 4th and inches for Oak Hill.
So
I can tell you were kind of surprised.
He was, I was. But I see the mindset though. I see where he's coming from. You need less than a yard. He's thinking, and you saw the linebackers cheating up. He's thinking maybe I can catch them with their pants down a little bit. Still had pretty good coverage. That nothing was really there. That looked like it might have been a 2-man pattern. I saw a post pattern, and then I saw a hitch down here. But now you still have this 4th down to pick up very little yardage.
Handoff. First down.
Yeah, and again, just a nice patient run by Solomon. You don't need a lot. Solomon found just a little seam off tackle there, and that keeps the drive alive. Because we're down to 2:30. Then did you say previously Oak Hill was out of timeouts?
One.
Well, they have one time, so they can still stop the clock once. Because we're under 2.5 here in the first half.
And while we're at it, Capitals has 2.
Okay.
Okay, now on the carry, he's going to cross the 30-yard line.
And they found a little something with this two-back look. This has opened their running game up a little bit. So now you're starting to see, instead of, it went from 1 or 2 yard gains to 2 or 3 yard gains. Now Kate got like 6 on that. So that's what you can keep chipping away with that. So they have found something with the two-back. Now let's see if John Carpenter is seeing that. He wants to maybe do something different with his linebackers or walk a safety up.
Right. Kate's going to cross the 25.
They'll be very close to a first down.
Very close to it. In fact, based on where that ball is spotted, I don't know how they doesn't have it.
Yeah, the stick is right at the 29. The ball looks like it's right at the. I mean, that's second and very short, but they're not. Or excuse me, third and very short. They're not giving him the first. But now, clock is starting to become an issue. We're nearing the 1 minute mark here.
1:04. Here's our first instance of Luke keeping it. He's going to be dragged down for a loss, and that becomes now 4th and, let's say, 2 or 3.
So I like the idea of Luke keeping it. I don't love the idea of Luke bouncing it.
Yeah.
If Luke's going to keep it, I'd just soon him keep his shoulder square and run more pass. Luke's not going to get outside of Capital. They're too athletic out there. So if Luke keeps it, he probably just wants to keep his shoulder square and get as much as he can out of it. Because bouncing, it's not going to work against these guys.
It's about a 3-second difference between the game clock and the play clock. Here's the 4th down play. They got it.
That's a really good effort by Kay. Now, you want to burn your time out here, and I think they just will stop the clock temporarily with 18 and a half.
May have to. I'm
let's
thinking.
See if they burn one or if they want to clock it. But that clock's going to start at the spot of the ball when the chains move. Oak Hill's quickly back on the ball, and the
so we're going to
clock
go.
Is starting again.
15 seconds.
You got to snap it.
They do snap it. Endicott throws. Pass is incomplete. Perhaps a blessing in disguise, though. Just stops the clock with 7.2 seconds left on it.
2nd and 10, Oak Hill.
And Chris, depending on how things go, this might be the last play of the half.
It could be. Yeah, you're right. Could be. Now, Oak Hill does have one timeout left here, but you're at the 21. I don't know what maybe you try to get a little closer. Maybe you're thinking field goal.
Let's see.
Capital's going to take a timeout here to talk about it.
Timeout indeed taken by the Cougars. So again, we'll reset things here for you. It's been a defensive struggle so far, as you can probably tell by the score. 6-0 Capital after they drove down on their last drive, missed the extra point after scoring their touchdown. Oak Hill has since responded with a good drive of their own after going to that 2-back set. We saw them first break it out against Princeton, had some success against the Tigers. And then, like I said, it's been Oak Hill driving, and now with 7.2 seconds, they're on the doorstep. See if they can find pay dirt.
They might run out of time here, but they get the ball to start the second half, and it's something that I would think they would come back here in the second half with that 2-back set, because that has been their most successful drive. Now, Capital, they're guarding the end zone here, so they got two safeties back. Luke might have to just force one into coverage here. Again, with the timeout, you maybe could try to go underneath, get a quick timeout, and see if you can sneak a field goal in there. I don't know.
We'll find out. Endicott will drop to throw. That pass is incomplete, and a flag comes in the end zone.
Yeah, man, he had Antoine on a post. That was a good ball. It looked like pretty good coverage to me. The ref might have hooked him, though. So we're down to 2.2, but that is... Now, I'm anxious to see what Devon Marion wants to do here. Do you trust your field goal game enough to try to kick it? Or are you trying to get in the end zone?
Defense. 10-yard penalty. Replay it down.
So with 2.2 seconds, this most certainly will be the last play of the half. And that'll move the ball up.
So it would be a 27-yard field goal, but he's keeping his offense on the field as they spot the ball at the 10-yard line.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line.
And I don't know if the referees the officials were ready. They're going to say, put that ball back, boys.
Let's see.
Here's the 2.2 seconds on the clock. About to start on my ready.
So they're going to start. So Kill's going to have to be really ready to snap the ball here.
Nick, as soon as he says go, we're going.
2.2 seconds.
We heard you.
So Kill going with a. I think O'Kill's going to go ahead and burn a timeout.
Capital will.
Is Capital burning it?
That's what it looked like to me, yeah.
At this point, it's moot. You're not.
I mean, at this
it's
point,
moot
right, you're not
This
gonna-
will be the
yeah.
last play.
Right, you're not, Well, we've got 2:20 on the game clock. So we're getting
We're
there.
getting there.
We're
Yeah.
getting there. I did not see where the infraction occurred, but I just based on, and we've talked about this already throughout the season, how high school rules are sometimes different from the rules we see on Saturday and Sunday. I'm thinking if that occurred in the end zone, put the ball at the 2-yard line.
Well, I'm not going to guess. Because
I'm not either.
I'll be honest. I've had egg on my face a couple times this year criticizing refs for what I thought were wrong calls. And then afterwards, I'll dig into the NFHS rule book. And the rules are different between high school and college and the NFL. So I'm going to keep my big mouth shut on some of this. So if they say it's a 10-yard penalty,
it's a 10-yard penalty.
I'll take their word it's a 10-yard penalty.
Okay, so you don't have to be as quick ready to go here. The clock will start on the snap.
So they got trips out here to the right-hand side, Lucas. They got Jagger Knox by himself out here to the left.
Snap is back. Luke will roll to his
he's got
right.
him.
He's got him in the end zone. Touchdown, no kill.
Great play. Great play. Rolled him out to his right. And they lined up those trips to the right. I hadn't seen that bunch set with the trips, but maybe that's something Devon Marion was saving. But, man, he saved it for the right time in the game. That's a big drive for Oak Hill.
That's a huge drive for
to
Oak
answer
Hill.
that Capital TD drive. And now Oak Hill has a chance to get a 2-for-1 because they will get the ball to start the second half.
Yes. And we might just be talking about how important this extra point is at the end of the game, too.
I take that back. Capital gets the ball. I was wrong about that. I think Capital gets the ball to start the second half. Either way.
It's a huge drive
Huge
regardless.
drive for Oak Hill. They need this extra point, too. Oh, no.
Not a great snap, but they get it off, and that kick is indeed good. He snuck it in there.
That was a nice job to get that hold down. I thought that might be a disaster there for a minute.
So at the end of one half of play, we've got a good defensive battle for you. 7-6, Oak Hill has the lead at half. Let's take a break and enjoy some halftime fun and come back for the second half right after this.
Oak Hill Red Devils 7. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the pride of Capital High School, the Capital High School Marching Band, led onto the field by director Leslie Rockell. Ladies and gentlemen, the Capital High School Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Red Regime of Oak Hill High, the OHHS Marching Red Devils, led by Director Travis Myers and Assistant Director Derek Crawford. The OHHS Marching Red Devils would like to thank the following for their various sponsorships to the band this year. Oak Hill McDonald's, A Set Chance, El Banditos, Steve Auto Parts, Rosers, Mount Hope Regional Band, Lavanda Painter, Young Life, Billy's Chili, Morris Greenhouse, Action Printing, Chris Gross Chiropractic, Fayette County National Bank, Cafe 110, Quality Data Analytics, J. Lee Enterprises, Matt Tats Inc., Designed by Barton James, Raleigh General Hospital, Pendleton Community Bank, Canyon Rim Rotary Club, Fayette District, Mountain Vending, J&S Hydraulics, Pinnacle Chiropractic, Sophia Stocks Garden, Ace, Cathedral Cafe, Eckley Orthodontics, Fire Creek Barbecue and Steaks, Fayetteville Dairy Queen, and Domino's in Oak Hill. Field Commanders, Ava Pomeroy and Jaden Mullins. Is your band ready? Marching Red Devils of Oak Hill High School.
Please put 3 minutes on the clock for Walmart. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, some quad A scores from across the Mountain State this evening. Parkersburg South 34, Hurricane 7 at the half. Greenbrier East 14, Princeton 21 in the third quarter. And Riverside 12, Woodrow Wilson 14 at the half.
We welcome you back after Chris Rader heard my entire life story at half. We've got a football game to talk about. It's 7-6 here. Oak Hill is up on Capital. And Chris, we saw Oak Hill respond very well in the end of half after Capital finally broke our 0-0 tie with a score of their own. Missed the extra point. Oak Hill crucially made theirs. And they have the lead here as the beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah, you're right. After neither team could get anything going at all offensively, both teams on their final drive of the first half were able to find the end zone. Capital hit a couple of short passes, a little hitch route that kept the drive alive, and then a screen pass that got them down there inside the red zone. And from there, they got the run game going a little bit with their QB run with Valdavia. But like you said, Oak Hill then responded, and they made a nice little adjustment in their last drive where they put Solomon Truman in there, and they got their two-back set going. And I was able to get the running game going a little bit. And then just a great play to end the first half. They rolled Luke Endicott out to his right. They lined up in a bunch trip set out to the right, and you saw it was it Antoine or Z that caught that pass?
I think
in
it
the end
was.
zone?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right,
I saw.
yeah.
I think it was.
I think it was Antoine.
I think it was Antoine that broke open in the corner of the end zone, but they ran that little bunch set. And again, that was something I hadn't seen before. Maybe just out of that bunch set, they were able to spring a receiver loose if they caught Capital in man coverage. And I don't know if they did. I'm kind of speculating at this point. I don't know what coverage that Capital was in, but when you run those little bunch sets, sometimes if you got man coverage, then you can run a little rub or a natural pick, and somehow Oak Hill was able to spring a receiver into the corner of the end zone. So a great answer drive for Oak Hill. So we'll see if that's a sign of things to come. If the offenses have woken up and they're going to stay awake, or what adjustments the coaches made here in the second half. But we got a good one regardless.
I think we do, and I was thinking about this a little bit at half. How this is a game that they're kind of mirroring each other, right? Neither team's been able to get a ton on the ground until they made adjustments for Oak Hill.
Yeah.
We've been able to see guys trying to get their playmakers out in space with limited degrees of success.
Right.
It very much mirrored themselves, and that's why, at least in my mind, we have a 7-6 game. They're kind of echoing themselves right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the coaches get paid to do. If something's not working, you make a formational adjustment. You do something a little different. You change your blocking scheme up. You do something a little different. Both coaches were able to do something a little different those last drives to get their offenses going. And again, that's why those guys get paid to prepare their teams and to make in-game adjustments. And we'll see what they can get drawn up against each other here in the second half.
And we're about ready to get going with that.
So can I give a birthday shout out? My buddy Scott Ellswick texted me, and he said that today is his boy's Hunter's 18th birthday.
That's a big one.
18 is a big birthday. So happy birthday to Hunter Ellswick. And if I'm giving birthday shout outs, today's also my sister's birthday. I will not tell anybody how old she is.
No.
It's a smidge over 18, though. We'll just put it that way. So happy birthday to Karen.
We'll keep it at that for the sake of all involved.
Yeah.
So we talked about this. I'll give you credit. You corrected yourself. Capital gets the ball to begin the second half. Unless Coach Marion's really thinking like gambling tonight.
No, I would
I don't
this.
think so. No, you're definitely
Tell
going to
Wingrove to put this in the end zone.
He's going to just about do
Get
that.
there you
He's
go.
going to be rolling into the end zone. There's that weapon. We didn't get a chance to see it in the first half because they scored so late.
Yeah, they sure did. But, yeah, so they'll take over at the 20-yard line, and let's see what Coach John Carpenter has dialed up for his Cougars. As, again, they found something the last drive there. If they want to stick with that passing game, if they want to stick with that QB power game, which got them in the end zone to end that drive.
We'll find out. We talked about it. Capital is, I'll break out a word here. They've broken a tendency with how much they've thrown it tonight.
They have broken a tendency. Yeah, they had 36 pass attempts coming in. I don't know how many times they've thrown it, but we're in the double figures anyway. So let's see if they want to continue to try to throw the ball a little bit here against Oak Hill.
Snap is back. They'll hand it off on the first play of the half. And that's going to be a good play out there. It looked like that was number 3, Cam Harris.
Yeah, he made a freshman linebacker, Jai Cass, miss right there. And a nice run by Capital by Cam Harris, and that's going to get it out to the 33-yard line. It looks like Capital might be going a little tempo here. They're not huddling, so this is a little change for Carpenter and Capitals. It looks like they're getting the play in from the sideline. I say tempo. They get to the line quickly, but then they look over to the sideline to get the play.
Snap is back. Keep all the way. It's going to get a first down is Fernando Valdavia.
Yeah, Valdavia. And again,
Valdavia, yeah.
no, and you can tell he's running true zone read. Sometimes when I see high school teams run that, I'm thinking, that might be called from the sideline, whether he keeps it or not. Valdavia is running true zone reads. He is really riding Harris with that ball in his belly till the last minute, and he's deciding whether or not to keep it or give it. Decided to keep it that time, and Capital with 2 nice run plays to get out here beyond midfield out of the gate.
And again, they're not subbing, and that's something you're building on for later on, trying to wear out some of those guys on the Oak Hill front. That's going to be a screen pass out to the far side.
Yeah, that's a solid first down play right there too. They got a nice block out there from number 4, JoJo Green, who had his man locked up out there. So that's going to be a nice little first down play, and that'll keep Capital on schedule.
And again, they're still not huddling, but the clock is stopped at 10:58 to go in the quarter.
Yeah, Capital has Oak Hill on their heels right now defensively, though.
Snap is back once again. Handoff going up the middle. And that's going to be a really good play on second down. That should be close to first down yardage. If not, yep, they're going to give it to him.
And I talked about, chipping away the run game, and that's what Capital's doing, because those plays were not there in the first half.
No.
Oak Hill was snuffing those plays in the first half, and now all of a sudden you're seeing Capital with some lanes to run through and moving the ball a lot more efficiently than they were earlier in the game. So they're lining up with the tight end over here to the left. Now in the first half, they would run power to the left. They're going to throw the screen out here to the right, though.
Completed.
Nice play.
Very nice play on the edge. Let's see who that was.
That was Truman. He's made several nice plays from his linebacker position. So nice tackle over there from Solomon. Hold that to a relatively short gain. We'll bring up, 2nd and 7 here. But in the first half, when they lined those trips out to the right and they had this tight end out here to the left, they would run QB power behind that. Oh, we got a false start.
That should knock Capital back a little bit. Should make it second down and 12.
That'll drive a
5-yard
coach crazy,
penalty.
too. You're
Replay,
moving
second
the
down.
ball well, and then all of a sudden, man, you get a little false start there.
When they get to that play in the film room on Monday, I don't want to be there.
Yeah, that'll drive a coach crazy. So they changed up formations, though. They got twins out here to the left. They still have a tight end out here to the left, and they got a single receiver up there at the top of the screen to the right.
Was that more of a wing than a tight end?
Yeah, kind of an H-back, actually.
H-back. That's going to go for no gain. Good job of the Oak Hill guys up front to stop that for nothing.
Yeah, again, Braden and Derek.
2 yards.
Braden and Derek, nice job in the interior of that line. As they pulled that wing, that H-back, they pulled him across the formation, try to kick out a defensive end, but the tackles were holding their ground right there, so not a lot there for Capital. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Can you tell I watched the Navy Air Force game a couple weeks ago with the wing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, inside the 40, I'm thinking John Carpenter's thinking this is 4-down territory for him.
Absolutely. Snap is back. Keeper all the way. Valdavia is going to take it across the 35.
And again, nice job right there. I think that was Jack Hess and then Derek Sullivan, too. So that was a design QB run, but not a lot there. That's going to bring up a 4th down. So see what the Cougars can dial up here.
On 4th and 9 on the scoreboard. That's a very generous 9 at that. That's more like 4th and 8. No, the 4th and 6. Okay, we got it right now. That's a long 6.
Now keep your eye down here at the bottom of the screen. Let's see how far Oak Hill's playing off those receivers. See if Capital tries to run another little hitch route at the sticks. They got a single receiver up there to the right he can look at too.
Drop the throw. That throw is incomplete. Oak Hill gets the stop.
And that's where he was looking. He was looking at the top of the screen. He had a little hitch route. He sat down right at the stick, and he actually put the ball right on him. That was Teray Rush, and Rush just dropped it. Now, I will say Z came up and put a nice lick on him, but I think he had dropped it prior to that. So they were kind of thinking what I was talking about, the hitch right at the sticks, and looked like it was there, but Rush couldn't hold on to it.
So Oak Hill taking over on their first possession in the second half from their own 35-yard line.
And no surprise, they're staying in that 2-back look because Capital was having trouble with it, so
We're going to stay in that till they stop it.
I think so. Now, it looked like Capital did stop at that time as that went for no gain. But it looked like Capital had committed some more men to the line of scrimmage at that point, though, too. So Again, we talked about adjustments. This isn't John Carpenter's first rodeo. So
No, he's been on the block a time or two. Won a state championship.
He committed more men to the box that time in anticipation of Oak Hill coming out in that 2-box set and trying to pound it at them.
There's not many things John Carpenter hasn't seen across his years in high school
He's
football.
been a very successful coach down there in Charleston. And yeah, they're walking 8 men up there now. So I think we're gonna have, let's see, Capital jump. They're gonna call that offsides.
We'll find out.
Yes, they are.
Defense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
But if you look at the screen, Capital's playing 4-down linemen, but then it looks like they've walked a defensive back up there with their linebacker. So essentially, right now, to me, it looks like that they've got 8 in the box. So they're trying to get that numbers advantage against Oak Hill now. Yeah, they're walking a safety up closer to the line now.
Endicott will throw.
Nice.
That pass is caught by Antoine. He'll be down right at the 45-yard line.
So I said earlier in the year, I really like those intermediate routes. And Oak Hill didn't run a lot of those last year. But Antoine with a little, looks like Antoine's cramping up. They're going to have to go and check on him. But that was a nice little quick slant from Antoine. They had him and Z lined up out here to the right. And it looked like Z was running a corner route from his slot position. And then Antoine was lined up out here to split end outside of him. And he ran a quick slant underneath that flag, that corner route. And Luke put a good ball right on him. It's a nice play called that time by Oak Hill and good execution by the kids. So Brendan Brooks has checked in for Antoine down here at the bottom of the screen at that split end position down here at the right.
Handoff. Nothing doing.
Yeah, that was just the backside defensive end, number 4 that time. That's going to be JoJo Green. Looks like he came in unblocked that time and ran it down from the backside. That's going to be a no gain for Oak Hill.
But now you're seeing that, like I said, Capital was committed now into the box.
It's a cat and mouse.
It's a cat and mouse and kind of a tit for tat.
Exactly.
You might have some of those options in the air now if they're going to commit 8 in the box.
Exactly. If they're going to walk a man down, maybe you look at your pass game like they did just a couple plays ago. So it is a little bit of a cat and mouse game here between the coaches.
Endicott will hand the ball off this time. That's going to Kay Compton. And again, nothing doing there.
Yeah.
Set up 3rd and long for Oak Hill.
And again, that was JoJo Green, number 4 right time. That's back-to-back tackles right at the line of scrimmage for him. So nice defensive series for him. But yeah, I mean, it looks like the Capital now is definitely walking some men down. They're committed to stopping that running game. So Oak Hill might have to find something in the air like they did a couple plays ago. Antoine's back in the game. So, again, he's out here at this split in position to the right. And you got Z in the slot here to the right.
Snap is back. Endicott will drop to throw. He's being forced out. And he's going to go down. That ball is out. But it will be recovered by Oak Hill. They'll say that's just... The referee actually is saying incomplete pass.
Is that he's rolling out an incomplete pass?
I saw him doing the yeah.
That was Christian Robinson. I don't know how they could roll out an incomplete
I don't
pass. I
either,
don't know
but that's
if it's a pass, I think that would be grounding. But anyway, regardless, so Oak Hill averts disaster with it wasn't a turnover. We had a loose ball there for a minute. It wasn't a turnover. So that's going to bring up 4th and 10 from the 45. Looks like they are going to punt the football. Nice job by Christian Robinson to get pressure that time and drag Luke down and force, I guess, what was an incomplete pass.
We'll reiterate what we said in the first half. Damian Johnson is a heck of a returner back there, number 5.
And again, some confusion here. A lot of confusion here for Oak Hill.
2 on the play clock, 1. And that's going to bring a delay of game.
Yeah, a lot of confusion there on the special teams that time for Oak Hill. And
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
again, we talked about when you have injuries and kids come out, then that sometimes will show up on special teams too, because nobody ever thinks to take their position on special teams. They'll throw in somebody, if it's offense or defense, and then when the punt team comes out, sometimes you forget, okay, yeah, he's on the punt team too.
Right.
We got to throw somebody out there. So that does happen sometimes. And unfortunately, it cost Oak Hill 5 yards that time. And they better get on the ball quickly right now because they're already
they better,
they're
7
we're
seconds.
at 5 seconds right now.
They get it off. It's a good kick. But it will be fielded by the dangerous Johnson. He's out from the 30. And they're going to blow that. I heard a whistle.
I thought I heard a whistle too. I'm with you. I heard a whistle.
He was at the 30 and I heard a whistle.
Yeah, I did too. Ludwig and Robinson were tied up out here way behind the play. But I heard a whistle too. Now, I know last year we had some issues with whistles in the stands. But I was like, that's a good punt return. That was a good punt return by Damian Johnson, who was able to get to the outside. That puts Capital in really good field position to start their second drive here in the second half. Yeah, I was with you. I heard a whistle, and I was like, what? Why's a whistle getting blown here? But I'm wondering if that came from the stands.
It may have.
Drives me crazy. I hate that.
And I would say you ban people from bringing whistles in, but let's just face it, if you do that, everyone will bring it. So there's no real,
Well, it's easy to sneak a whistle into your pocket, too.
Right, so it's easy, yeah. Heck, I've got one on my keys, actually.
Down there because they were into.
You can thank Jason Blankenship for that one. Here's a handoff. And
Boy,
good
that's
yardage
a
there.
really good run. Really good, strong run. That time by Cam Harris as he ran through a couple of tackles.
And Capital is getting whatever they want on the ground right now.
Yeah, Capital's definitely, their ground game looks a lot better than it did earlier in the game. That was a good, strong run by Harris. He ran a couple guys over.
Valdavia will take the snap. He'll hand the ball off once again. That is going to Cam Harris.
Yeah.
Harris is going to be near a first down. You saw him, again, that's a zone read. He's hanging on to that ball for the last possible second, choosing to keep it in Cam's lap.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, maybe Oak Hill starts thinking about committing another man closer to the line of scrimmage because Capital's got their run game cooking right now.
Second and 1 for the Cougars.
Valdavia will drop to throw. Pass is incomplete as the flag comes in.
Ooh, that was
Two
a
flags.
late flag, too. Really late flag.
Well, there was the late flag in the end zone, but there was a flag in the middle of the play that landed at like the 8-yard line.
Okay.
So there's two flags.
Valdivia's
on the
pass
play.
intended for number 2.
So we'll see what this conference, I presume, that will happen for the
So-
individuals yields.
There was good coverage down there. Let's see if we get a defensive hold or a
I've got
pass.
pass interference on the defense. I've got holding on the offense. Penalties offset. Replay the down.
Okay.
All right.
I frankly didn't see the pass interference.
Nor did I.
That looked like to me that was pretty good coverage. I didn't see that in the end zone. Looked like to me it was just a nice play on the ball. Regardless, we're going to have a second and short here just inside the 30-yard line for Capital. And maybe that's why they took it, second and short. You figure you take a shot.
Right, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Valdavia will keep it himself the whole way. He's going to be spun down short of the line to gain.
Really nice job out there by James Ludwig. He really set the edge that time. Because it looks like Valdavia might have, I think he is going to have a first down, and he didn't need much, but still, Ludwig did a good job out there to hold that to a pretty short gain.
They're showing third down for now.
They're showing third down, but it looks like the stick is beyond.
I was going to say, okay, yeah.
I think they're finally moving the chains
okay,
now.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, he didn't need much, but still a nice job out there by Ludwig to, hold his position out there and not let Valdavia get too far outside him.
May comes in motion across the formation. It's a keep all the way. Valdavia will take it himself. he'll get another first down for his troubles. And
Yeah.
Capital again's on the move.
They sure are on the move. Yeah, and that ground game's looking really good right now with Cam Harris and Valdavia. So they're doing a good job of mixing it up, of who's getting the ball. And I wouldn't be surprised at some point they might even try to sneak a jet sweep in here because they showed motion that play too to give Oak Hill something else to react to pre-snap, at least get Oak Hill's eyes moving. But yeah, Capital got it cooking right now.
Handoff going up the middle. Oak Hill's there to stop it for minimal gain.
Yeah, nice job by James Ludwig. Looks like Braden Knight was in on that tackle that time, so better job in there in the interior of the line for Oak Hill. And they're going to need more plays like that to hold Capital out.
Under 3 minutes to go here in quarter number 3. 7-6 Oak Hill is our score at the moment, and Capital's looking to change that. Snap is back. Valdivia will drop to throw. That pass is incomplete over the head of his receiver.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot going. Oak Hill had good coverage. I was looking downfield. He tried to hit a post pattern, but actually Oak Hill was all over that. It's a good thing he overthrew it because when he let that ball go,
I'm thinking
for a minute there I thought it might be picked, but it was just over everybody's head. But nice coverage that time by Oak Hill in the secondary.
so. It stops the clock with 2:38 and brings up a third down and 9 for the Cougars.
Oak Hill going with a single high free safety look here.
Valdivia will drop to throw. That pass is caught at the screen, and they're going to try to get it to DJ Spencer. He's going to be spun down here.
So I think he's going to be just short,
I think so.
but I'm thinking John Carpenter's probably thinking he's going to go for it. It's going to be 4th and maybe 2.
That's a long 2.
So let's see what Capital dials up here. Again, they're not huddling. They're going on the ball here.
And they had some jawing in between those
Yeah,
plays,
they
so
had to
they're
break
getting
up some
into it.
players that time. Getting a little chippy.
Valdivia getting his play from the sideline. Cowbells ringing out like Starkville, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Timeout Oak Hill.
That's a good timeout. This is a key play, so that's a good timeout to take. Make sure that whatever defensive play call you got here, everybody knows what they're doing.
That'll leave Oak Hill with 2 for the remaining 16:46 of the ball game. And if you, I mean, this really is a huge play. If you hold them, you've taken all the air out of them, or at least a lot of it.
Yeah, big play down here. Points have been at a premium in this game, but Capital is definitely moving the ball better the last 2 or 3 possessions. They found something in that run game that they weren't finding earlier in the game against Oak Hill. So 4th and short here, that zone read, whether Valdavia has been handing it to Cam Harris or keeping it himself, that zone read has been there. And Valdavia has been doing a pretty good job of reading his keys and knowing when to hand it and when to keep it. So, again, if I'm playing armchair coach, I'm probably just thinking zone read right here with Valdavia and Harris.
I'm hard-pressed to disagree. Snap is back. It's Valdivia to keep the whole way, and he's going to get it.
No, he can't do that. That's a big call against Capital.
That's a huge call.
That's a big call. I mean, that's the first down, I believe, will stand, but that's going to push Capital back. And the offensive lineman who grabbed him and just carried him into the end zone has to know better than that, and that'll drive John Carpenter crazy.
Aiding the runner, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Well, that's a new one for me, aiding the runner.
So
that's the first one.
Let's see what that does here. Yeah, that's going to negate what was going to be a first down, I believe. That's a big call for Capital. Because they had the first down. They had a first and goal inside the 5, and now it's going to be 4th and 2. They're in the exact same position they were in.
I was going to say they didn't move the ball at all.
Yeah, big call. And the kid just has to know better than that. You just can't. You can't grab him by the armpits and just pull him. Capital's going to take their own time out here with 1:38.
Goodness me. If you want intrigue, I've got the game for you.
I would not want to be the offensive lineman.
No.
I have to figure he's getting a stern talking to from John Carpenter over there.
I should say so. Let's test your trivia knowledge, Chris, while I've got a second. I was doing this. What two schools make up the present Capital High School?
Stonewall Jackson and Charleston High School.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. And those were both. They both had strong athletic programs, and Capital's been a school since 1989. But in those 36 short years, they've won 4 state titles, and they've been runner-up 4 other times. So they've been to the state championship game 8 times just in their 36 years as a high school.
That's literally a fourth of the school's existence.
Yeah, I mean that's why for me it's so surprising to see the hard times Capital fallen on the last 3 or 4 years, because growing up through the 90s they were in the state championship conversation every year.
2000s, yep, same deal. All right, here we go. A huge 4th down here. Valdivia will keep the whole way. He's got the first, unaided this time.
Yeah, they ran QB power to the other side, and Valdivia is not a big kid, but I'm impressed. He's not afraid to stick his face in there either. He's not a real big kid, but man, he runs hard.
He's not a guy who just operates in space. He's, like you said, he'll go downhill.
Yeah, absolutely. He squares his shoulders and he'll stick his face right in there. I've been impressed with Valdivia tonight.
He'll keep it again. He's going to be near the goal line. I don't think he got in yet. Let's see.
And again, the Capital offensive lineman got to be really careful, because in high school you cannot push the runner. You can do that in college and the NFL. It looks like they were maybe close to trying to push him from behind that time. It looks like, I think it's Braden Knight who's got a cramp. Looks like he's trying to get stretched out down there. But no, to go back to what you were saying, Capital, a combination of, they closed Charleston and Stonewall and consolidated them. And, Capital's got a rich football history, even though it's only been in existence 36 years. They've had some great athletes come through there. And what they've went through the last 3 or 4 years is very unusual for them.
That's not the norm. They don't do that.
No, that's one reason I think they asked John Carpenter to come back, try to get this program back on track to what they're used to doing, which is being in the playoffs and winning a lot of games and making a lot of deep runs.
Yeah, I was telling some folks going into this game week, I was like, when I was in high school, Capital was right up there with Martinsburg as the 2 best teams in the state.
They absolutely were. I was used to seeing them in the state title picture every year. And I know a couple of years ago, some of the scores I was seeing coming out of the Valley was just alarming. But again, Braden's really struggling. I hope that's just
really
a cramp.
is.
He's really struggling to get off the field there.
It's like he can barely put some pressure on that. He's doing it, but it's not comfortable.
So I think they checked in number 51, Jeremy Lewis, for him. Now, you give up a lot of size when Braden comes out and Jeremy Lewis comes in, though. Braden takes up a lot of space in that middle. He does a good job of usually stymieing the other teams.
And that ball's inside the 1. You've got to be thinking Capital. That's where they're going.
Wow, that is inside the 1. That's almost touching the goal line, isn't it?
That is. I don't know how it's not touching the goal line. I really don't.
Yeah, that's right there. And they're lined up in a shotgun, which drives me nuts. They're overloading that left-hand side, so there's QB power to the left.
Valdivia
and he's not going to get there.
He's not got it. He didn't get it.
Derek Sullivan, Jack Hess. Let's see who else is getting up there. Maybe Andreas Johnson. But they lost a couple, and they lost at least one because they overloaded that left-hand side and just tried to run QB power. But, man, Oak Hill was up to the task that time. So, big play. It's still going to be 3rd and goal here from the 2, though.
Capital does not have to snap it should they choose not to. Although I think they will, and indeed they will. As Valdivia once again, he is in this time.
Yep.
Touchdown Cougars.
Yeah, they retake the lead. Nice job. A big drive that time. And with just 12 and a half seconds left here in the third quarter, the game is starting to get late early. So Oak Hill's going to have another answer drive in them. Let's see if Capital decides to go for two after that missed extra point.
I was thinking the same thing.
Get this back out to a 7-point lead.
And I think that's what they're thinking. Yep. Indeed they are.
So they're overloading right now the right side. They actually have two tight ends lined up out there to the right with two backs with Valdavia. They're just going to run QB. It may be an option. That's there.
He's in. 2-point conversion is good. That's DJ Spencer on the conversion. And all of a sudden, it's 14-7 Capital.
Yeah, really nice job from the Cougars there. And Oak Hill's got to have another answer in them. But again, I'm going to brag on Valdavia. He's done a nice job with his legs here tonight. And he scored both of the Capital touchdowns. And like I said, even though he's not the biggest kid in the world, I'm impressed with how tough he runs. But to his offensive line's credit, though, too, they've started to give him a few more lanes than they were earlier. So they got the ground game going a little bit now.
I'll make a point just because I was thinking about this earlier. I talked to a Capital coach earlier. They're without their number one running back, David Johnson. He's out. But they're still running the ball incredibly well. We talked about it. They had 13 touchdowns coming in. He scored 10. And yet they're still running the ball very effectively without him. That's a testament to these kids coming up.
Yeah, he's a big loss for him, too. He's also a good defense. They call him Day-Day. I think it's Day-Day Robinson, and they call him Day-Day down there. And he's a stud, and him being out is a big loss for Capital. But they've been able to find something with Valdavia and Harris here on these zone reads and QB powers here in the second half. Yeah, shows a lot of resilience on their part.
Kick is in the air. Will be fielded from the 15 to the 20. Z going back out to the 30. Z to the 35. Gets slammed down at the 35-yard line. Oak Hill in decent field position to start their response here, as the fourth quarter is when we'll start that response. After 3, it's 14-7 Capital. Let's take a break, and we'll come back with the final 12 minutes of action here on this night in Oak Hill on the Nerva Network.
From the 34-yard line. Services. Come check us out soon at our new location, the old Kmart building on Route 19.
We welcome you back here on the Nerva Network. Lucas Berry, Chris Rader here with you as we begin the fourth quarter of a 14-7 ballgame. If you like defense, this is the game for you. And Oak Hill needs a good drive from their offense to tie this game back up. Hand the ball off coming on the first play of this drive, and that's going to go absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, they stacked that up. Now, I will say the Capital right now is not playing a safety back. The middle of the field's open. If Oak Hill would want to try a play action or sneak somebody in down the seam or on a post pattern, but that play right there, Capital does not have a safety back. They're committing more men to the line of scrimmage. Now, this time it looks like maybe they do have a couple.
It looks like a too-high safety to me.
Yeah, although they're
marching one
up.
down now, yeah.
Now it's going
and DeCott will drop the throw. He's got to get out of it. He's not going to be able to. He's going to be dragged down to the 20-yard line. and make it third down in the mile.
Yeah, that's the freshman, Tremel Musgrove. And I was told that he'd be a kid to keep an eye on, and they swarmed Luke under that time. As soon as he got the snap back there, and Oak Hill's in a bad way right now, third and very, very long. Looks like it's
That's
about
third and 22.
Yeah. And the injury bug continues to bite Oak Hill. I see Caleb Compton down there on the bench with the shoulder pads off. So he started the game. He was a two-way starter tonight. And it's really biting him at that receiver position and in the secondary.
That pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to hit Jagger Knox on a little curl route right there at the 30-yard line, but nothing doing. So it's going to be 4th and long. Oak Hill's got to give up possession here on a punt. And again, you better have your protection buttoned up. No, Oak Hill's done a pretty nice job of keeping. Nice job getting the ball off.
That's a really good kick. That's mishandled.
Oh, big hit.
Big hit.
Oh, he fumbled
indeed.
again.
We'll see who has it at the far side. What's the ruling here, folks?
I think Capital retained possession. That was a big hit over there, and we got an Oak Hill player down. If somebody came, I didn't see who it was. Somebody came up and really smacked Johnson and jarred the ball loose again.
You probably had a better view of that than we did, but my goodness, that was a hit.
Yeah, I didn't see. I'm trying to look over Darren's shoulder, see if we can get a look on who made that hit. That was Andreas Johnson that came up. He's the one that put the big hit on him, number 9 for Oak Hill. And I don't know if he's the kid down or not. We got an Oak Hill player down over there, which unfortunately we've seen way too much this year.
Unfortunately, yes.
I'm looking down there. Like I said, I see Caleb Compton with his shoulder pads off. I see Jake Bennett sitting down on the bench. He's been out since the opening game of the year against Nicholas.
9 is over here on the bench, so I don't think that's Andreas.
Well, he's the one that put the big hit on Damian Johnson over there. It looks like Capital retained possession. Okay, so that's going to be Riley Biggs. He's a freshman linebacker, running back. He's coming off the field. So there was a big collision over there. I guess he got caught up in it. And again, unfortunately, we've seen this way too often for Oak Hill where kids are getting helped off the field and they don't look great coming off of it.
No.
Riley Biggs doesn't look like he
looks
looks a little worse for wear coming off the field right now. So hate to see that. And it's just something that's happened a lot here for Oak Hill this year.
That's a move that we've seen far too many times
Far
this
too
year.
many times. So Capital in good field position. And Oak Hill needs a defensive stop here, Lucas.
I was going to say,
a score here is going to really make it hard to come back from.
I was thinking the exact same thing. This is a got-to-have-it drive for both teams.
You got to stop them here. Absolutely. Got to stop them.
Ball spotted on the 49-yard line.
Johnson coming in very late to his outside linebacker position.
They'll hand the ball off, and they'll finally bring him down.
Yeah, but he got a good 4 or 5 yards that time. So, Harris didn't have that much in the first half, but they're starting to just chip away more at that Oak Hill interior and
Chris,
move the ball and stay on schedule.
Another point, too, with Capital running the ball as well as they are in the second half, they're probably not going to be too keen to throw it anymore. Just bleed clock and get out of here.
Well, yeah, if they can keep the ball on the ground, they'll definitely do that. As, again, Oak Hill digging into their bench, and this is going to be their kicker, Andrew Wingrove, coming in.
How about that?
To the secondary. So this is what the injury bug will do to you. You play some kids, they normally don't. He's back there Well, they got Z at the free safety position, but Andrews in that defensive secondary right now.
They will throw it, just as I said they won't. They've got a man downfield. That pass is... Did he catch that?
Yeah, we got a flag.
A very late flag at that.
That's interesting. Let's see what that call is. I'm wondering, did he step out and come back in? I don't know. Or was it interference that they'll just decline? We'll see here.
Let's find out.
Looks like the play's going to stand. And I mentioned in the first half that, Capital had some receivers.
I've got a personal foul, late hit, defense.
They was a late hit out of bounds.
I didn't see that.
I thought they just knocked him out of bounds. I didn't see a late hit. But regardless, Capital finally connects on one of those big pass plays. They've had some guys open downfield, just haven't been able to connect, but they did that time. And the Cougars are trying to put this game out of reach right now.
Yeah, I'm afraid I did not see that one. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
And I'll be looking for QB power again here. As I say that, they hand it to Cam Harris.
Nice job. All over it.
Andres Johnson and Braden Knight, who we saw come off with a cramp earlier, is back in that game. And, man, he stood his ground right there in the middle that time. He lost a couple, so that's going to bring up a 2nd and goal for Capital. Looks like they're going to spot the ball just inside the 5. And I'll probably just go with that QB power. It's been working. That scored both their touchdowns, and especially over that right-hand side, which is where they got it overloaded right now. Oak Hill's had trouble stopping, and here it comes.
They're going to do it.
No speed
Pitch.
option. Nice play.
Nice play.
Z. Lewis came up from his safety position and did a really nice job of taking the pitch man on that speed option, and that's going to throw him for another loss.
You got DJ Spencer there. I thought they were going to call him for a horse collar.
Yeah, I thought for a minute they might too, but I guess they decided he
got just enough
got outside the jersey. But all of a sudden, 1st and goal from the 2s, 3rd and goal from the 6. So Oak Hill, again, they got to keep him out here. This will be a huge stop if Oak Hill could keep him out of the end zone. Again, they're overloading that right side. They got a tight end over here to the left, Clark, or to the right. They're going to try a quick slant.
He is
intercepted.
Did they really?
Let's see.
I think
they're saying that's intercepted in the end zone. That's a huge play for Oak Hill. I didn't see who got that. I'm trying to look at a replay over. They tried to run a quick slant into the end zone. We're going to see who came up with that. It's up here at the top of the screen. I can't. I want to give a kid. Who was that out there at the corner, Mon? I'm asking. Was that Antoine Hicks with the big? I couldn't see the number out there. So Antoine Hicks with the huge interception, and that keeps Oak Hill alive here. They take over at their own 20.
With 8:21 to go, they've got a shot. Truman will carry the ball, and Solomon will get a couple on that, so we'll keep it 2nd down and 8.
That's just I got to go back to that for a minute. Quick slants are so hard to defend in man coverage. That's such a hard pass to defend. And Antoine actually broke on the ball and was able to come up with possession. That's a huge play from Antoine Hicks at that corner position out there to get the ball back. And that actually ended up being a 4-yard gain, so not a bad pickup that time from Solomon Truman.
Snap is back once again. They're going to screen out to Z. Z will back up, and then he'll get to about the 25. So he'll gain about a yard or two, make it 3rd down, and very manageable here for Oak Hill.
Yeah, Capital was all over that, though. They tried to get that bubble screen going, but, man, Capital had 2 or 3. I'm actually surprised that Antoine was able to get that much out of it, or Z was able to get that much out of it.
Speaking of Antoine, though, he does come up with the bench.
He's coming up hobbling, so he's out now. And it seems, man, Oak Hill, especially in the secondary and the receiver positions, it's just getting killed with injuries. So Andreas Johnson is now checked in for Antoine. He's going to line up down here to split in at the bottom of the screen. And they send 2 receivers out to the right, and they keep staying with that 2-back set. That's going to bring up a 4th down. No, not a lot going on there, so we're nearing.
But they're going to give him a yard. They're going to give him a yard, so that becomes all of a sudden 4th and 3.
So 4th and, looks like it's actually 4th and 2.5 maybe. And I think he's going to keep the offense out there.
I think so. Under 7 minutes to go in the ball game now.
Endicott coming out with the play. This
is
really a big gamble because you still got a couple timeouts and a lot of time to go. But I think Devon Marion thinks he needs to try to retain possession and get a score here. So big play right here. 4th and 2 inside your own 30. Capital loading the box.
Who jumps?
Well, they were changing up the snap count, trying to get Capital to jump, but I think in the meantime, Oak Hill.
Ball start.
Yep.
Offense, number 8.
So they're going to call that on Z. Lewis. And I think they were really hoping to change the snap count and get Capital to jump.
Right.
So that changes the decision making here, and you're going to have to punt now as we're at the 6:32 mark here of the game. Oh, no.
Bad snap. Endicott can't find it. He'll fall on it, but Capital will be gifted fantastic field position.
Yeah. And, and Oak Hill done a really, their punt game has struggled this year, but they've done a really nice job here tonight.
They really have.
Getting clean punts off, not allowing big returns, but a key part of the game, we had a bad snap that time, and now you have 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. And
with 6.5 to go, that's going to put Oak Hill in a bad way. Should Capital convert? But then again, we thought they were going to convert the last time they came up with an interception,
yeah,
so you never know.
You never know. Oak Hill had a big stop down here the last time in the goal-to-go situation. I swear, if I'm Capital, I think I run QB power 4 times here.
It's been working, and there's no real reason to stop.
And they've switched QBs. Valdavia's out, and that's going to be number 12, Deshaun Isabel, who's come in.
His name's Isabel. He should be in the game.
Deshaun Isabel will carry it flat, comes in behind the play. He's not going to go anywhere. In fact, they may lose a yard or two. And we'll see what this laundry's all about.
So they run Isabel on the QB power that time. But we're going to have a hold.
Number 78, 10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
So I don't know if Valdavia is injured. That's a really interesting time to change quarterbacks, though, at this point in the game.
I did hear that in discussion with the Capital coach before the game that they will play both of them. So it's not unheard of.
But he hasn't taken a snap.
No, and Valdavia's done really well tonight.
I think Valdavia's done really well with his legs here tonight, but they're going to stick with Isabel. But that'll bring up 1st and goal now, and that's when they're going to spot the ball at the 16-yard line. So that's a big penalty against Capital. Really helps Oak Hill out.
Deshaun Isabel once again.
They're overloading that left-hand side again. 2 tight ends. They're going to run power behind it.
Isabel's going to be taken down by a whole host of Red Devils there.
Cade Compton was the first one to get there. And man, Lucas again, where it looks like Capital has a chance to put the nail in the coffin. All of a sudden, it's 3rd and goal from the 15, and Oak Hill still has life here. And I see Valdavia over there. He's got his helmet, and his helmet's off. He's holding his helmet. So I don't know if this is an injury situation or if this is just a strategic decision from John Carpenter. But it's definitely an interesting time to change quarterbacks at this stage of the game, because Isabel's still out there for Capital. So again, they got 2 tight ends over here to this left side.
Isabel will drop to throw. He's being chased. He gets out of it. That pass is into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Capital.
So he comes in and makes a big play. Makes a big play. He hit number 2 out there. That was Teray Rush. in the corner of the end zone. And Capital has now extended this to a 2-score lead. And with 5:20 left,
That's
Oak Hill's
tough.
got their work cut out for them.
Kick is up, and that kick is good. So with 5:20 to go in the ball game, Oak Hill has a 2-touchdown deficit to overcome. It's 21-7 Capital.
Yeah, with 5:20 left and 2 touchdown deficits to overcome, you got to put the ball up. You can't be patient. You can't really chip away too much at the run game. You're going to have to put the ball in Luke Endicott's hands, and hopefully he can make some plays from the pocket. But, yeah, Oak Hill's found themselves in a bad way right now.
Chris, I was just thinking about this. As weird as it was, we were kind of talking about the history of Capital, and with the 4A system, you said it earlier. You never thought you'd see the day where Oak Hill has a larger enrollment than Capital. If Capital holds on and wins this game, that's a quad A win for a Triple-A team.
Oh,
that's huge for Capital.
That's a huge win for Capital if they hold on here. Yeah, absolutely. No, the enrollments are even though this is quad A versus Triple A, the enrollments of these two schools are very similar. I mean,
Yes.
they're both right at the cutoff
Oh
line.
yeah, I forgot we don't just do enrollment now. I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But
The enrollments are very similar for these. But to your point, though, that would be a huge win for Capital to get a 4A win, and that would really help their playoff positioning.
Ball is in the air. It will be fielded at the 21-yard line. Taken out here as Z will spin it back into the inside and get down near the 35 rather.
Yeah. Yeah, so again, you have to think they're going to have to put the ball up a little bit more, have more of a sense of urgency
I
here.
don't see a way around it.
Yeah, down 2 scores with 5:11 left here. And the bad part about that is, though, like I mentioned, man, Oak Hill's just, would you like to have Carson Treadway right now?
Yeah, huh?
Absolutely. Would you like to have Owen Gross right now?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. So that receiver position has really been, just besieged by injuries. And they're going to go back, I think, to their single back 4 receiver look here.
Trips to the near side, single receiver out wide. Endicott will take the snap. Try to find Z. Lewis out there. He caught it, but at what cost?
Yeah, no gain, basically.
He got about a yard, and that may have been very generous.
Nice job out there by Christian Robinson.
As that clock now winds under 5 minutes to go in the ball game. They're going to give him 2 on that, so make it 2nd down and 8. Actually, the scoreboard says 2nd down and 9, which is probably a little more accurate. Nope, there we go. Change the date. Okay. Snap is back. Endicott drops to throw. He'll roll out to his right, throwing, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Cougars. That is number 15.
That's Christian Robinson.
Christian Robinson takes it back, and it's 28-7. And that may just about do it.
Yeah, that might do it for
27-7.
Oak Hill. Yeah, that might do it. I got to really give a lot of credit to this Capital defense. Other than that last drive of the first half, Capital has just really stymied everything Oak Hill's tried to do on the ground, through the air. Oak Hill just hasn't been able to get anything going other than that one drive. And, yeah, you have to think that's probably going to do it here.
Extra point upcoming. And he missed it.
Good.
So it remains 27-7 is our score with, 4:20 to go in the ball game. Chris, I'll reiterate that. I'll second that. That the Capitals defense has done a really good job. And I'll say it again. We talked about it earlier. They're young. That's a really good football team over there. That's a well-coached, really talented football team that I know everyone I remember you saying, if you're going to get him this year. I don't know that there's going to be that many teams that are going to get him on the right night.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm impressed with Capital, and they're doing all this without their best player.
Yeah,
Day-Day
that's the thing.
Robinson's their best player, so if they can get him back, they'll really be cooking. Now, from the Oak Hill perspective here, and I'm just going by memory here, I think this is the first time in the Devon Marion era that they're going to lose back-to-back games. I don't think that's
you're right.
happened.
I think you're right.
They frankly haven't lost that many. Now, I will say next week you get a Hurricane team in here for homecoming who's frankly struggled. So maybe you can get back on the right track. But, Coach Marion has his work cut out for him to, get these players to keep believing that, hey, there's still something to play for. But, yeah, they've never experienced this under him, back-to-back losses.
Aziz going to have to return that from inside his 5. And he's going to be marked down at about the 10.
But, if, we're going to assume that, Oak Hill's not going to make up 3 touchdown deficit with 4:09 left, but that'll drop them to 3-3. But again, you have to regroup here.
Yeah.
And, get the kids believing, hey, there's still a lot to play for. Maybe, you get Carson Treadway back next week. That's a key loss for them. He's a really good player, plays both ways. You get him back next week. You get a little, nothing against Hurricane, but Hurricane's had a tough season.
Yeah, it's not gone their way so far.
That's a team on paper you think maybe you can get a W against, and then you got some key games down the stretch.
Going to South Charleston, going to Woodrow, North Marion comes up here.
Yeah.
Comes down here rather end of the year. Bunch trips to the near side. Pass is caught by Z. Lewis. He'll get short of the 20.
And you got to get on the ball quickly here. And we have a fight.
Yep, here we go.
Can't have that. And
coaches are out.
You can't have this because
that's going to be.
This can get you ejected next week. So you can't have this, especially in a 27-7 game. You just can't have it.
Can't do it. Cannot do it.
And this isn't. They're still going at it.
Yeah, this isn't your run-of-the-mill fight.
Yeah, they're going to have to get these kids separated here. Because this can cost you future
games. Cost
games.
your homecoming, yeah.
So let's see what the refs are going to have to get together and decide what's going on here.
So let's unpack all this as soon as we get a chance.
There's going to be a lot to unpack and see what the refs are going to have to announce what the flags are and if anybody's getting thrown. I think they're calling it.
Yeah, we're done.
They're calling this with 3:48 left, so that's going to
my goodness
end up being a 27-7 Capital victory.
Yes, I saw Coach Marion and
That's
Carpenter
really
shake hands.
That's really an unfortunate way to end that.
That really is. You're right.
Really an unfortunate way to end that. I hate to see that.
I can only think of one other game that can end it by a fight, and that was Bluefield and Independence a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I hate to see a game end like that where you can't even finish it because of a fight.
So that, as the last 3 minutes will tick off the clock, that really doesn't even matter now. Game's over.
Yeah.
Capital wins 27-7 as we disperse the crowd here from John P. Duda Stadium. No, Chris, it wasn't the result we wanted, but it was always a pleasure being with you and calling the game. And we'll see you back here for homecoming as the Hurricane, are they still called the Redskins?
As far as I know.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
All right, the Hurricane Redskins coming here for homecoming next week. We'll have all the action for you on the Nerva Network. For Chase Berry down on the sideline running camera, Robert Polly on the main camera, Darren McGuffin throwing the switches. Chris Rader and myself, Lucas Berry, thank you so much for joining us. Good night, everyone.